Hello there again, biology students. Welcome back for week 10 of semester 2. Couple quick notes before we jump into the work for this week. This is week 10, so this is the last week before spring break. I have told you that if you need to get any makeup work or late work turned in, you have until we come back from spring break. So you can work on it this week, you can work on it over spring break, turn it in by April 5th. And you will get late credit for it, which is 80% of the points. If you turn anything in after April 5th, I'm not going to count it. We need to get started on fourth quarter. And if you haven't made it up by now, then I doubt you're going to make it up by then. So make sure you get on those assignments if you need to make anything up. As far as quizzes go, you can retake any quiz that you want. That does not stop on April 5th. You can continue to retake quizzes that you need to retake. So just shoot me a message and let me know if you want to retake a quiz. Speaking of which, we have a very big quiz for you this week. That's one of the assignments, and I'm going to get into it in just a second. Okay? All right. In fact, let's go take a look at those assignments right now, see what we have going on. So if you go in the online notebook, week 10, we're going to switch gears a little bit from, we've been talking about DNA, transcription, translation, genetic code. We're going to take a big quiz on that stuff, and we're going to start talking about something related to it, but not exactly the same stuff. So I think what I'm going to do is on Monday and Tuesday's class, we're going to do a little bit of a review session, because I said this is a big quiz you got going on this week. It's going to cover the last 3 weeks of learning. So if you go back to week 7, where we talked about DNA structure, these notes here on what DNA looks like. We took some notes here on nucleotides, how the bases match up. We drew a picture of the DNA structure. We talked about what a sequence is. Then we talked more about gel electrophoresis. There's some examples of a gel results. We took some notes on what is gel electrophoresis. It's an experiment. How does it work? How do you set it up? Why does the DNA move? Has to do with the electricity, what a DNA fingerprint is. And then I gave you an example of how to kind of break one down. That was just week 7. And then on week 8, we talked about the genetic code. We took notes on this thing right here, on how to use this. This is the genetic code, but the notes we took talked about what is a gene, the dogma or central dogma of DNA going to RNA, going to protein, how the DNA information being turned into RNA information is called transcription, how the RNA information being turned into protein is called translation, what is the difference between DNA and RNA, and then we broke down the code from DNA to mRNA and transcription. We break down the code from the mRNA then into protein, which is what the whole purpose of this process is. Okay, and then you did a worksheet on it that week, if you remember. Okay, so that's week 8. And then last week's notes were on the steps of transcription, like what does it actually look like? Remember, the DNA opens up, the RNA polymerase comes in, it reads the DNA, it makes an mRNA copy. Okay, that's what we talked about here with the steps of transcription. And then we talked about the steps of translation. Remember, there's this big ribosome that creates a nice little space where the mRNA has a spot and it has to match with the tRNA, and the tRNA brings in the amino acids that then bind, and then the amino acids stick together, and then the tRNA ticks off. Okay, we talked about notes of that and the steps of translation there. And don't forget the videos. The videos are very helpful in understanding these things as well. So that's a lot of information. And so you have a quiz on all that stuff. Now, again, if I scroll down here, it says quiz week 10, DNA structure, genetic code, transcription, translation. I'm expecting that you're bringing your notes to this quiz. Like, why wouldn't you? Not only that, you should bring the worksheet that you did. You should bring any other kind of information. Maybe watch the videos before you take the quiz, just so you're clear on everything. But this quiz is in Jupyter. As of Monday morning, I'm going to turn it on for, actually, yeah, I think I'll turn it on Monday for everybody. And take it when you're ready. Don't just take it and be like, let me see what happens. Like, no, take it when you're ready. Make sure you have your notes with you. You're ready to do it. One added bonus this week and I'll mention this in class, next to each question on the quiz, I put in parentheses what week it's from, whether it's from week 7, it's from week 8, or it's from week 9. So that should help you go figure out, oh, this is a question about week 7. Let me go to my week 7 notes. Oh, this is a question from week 9. Let me go to my week 9 notes. Hopefully that will help guide you in finding the right answer. Okay, so big quiz this week. Have to take it. It's going to be a huge part of your grade. If you don't take it, it's going to screw you up real bad. Yeah, that's where we're at with that. Now, the second thing we're going to do this week, like I said, we're going to start talking about variation and the steps of another process called meiosis, which looking at this, you're like, doesn't that look like mitosis? They're very similar, but there are some major differences, and we'll get into that probably Wednesday and Thursday. So notes and a quiz. So not very difficult as far as what you need to do, but very difficult in making sure you do it right. So definitely take that quiz and definitely come to class on Wednesday and Thursday and take notes. Okay, and don't forget, turn in makeup work. Okay, I don't want you to be that student that comes to me in the last month of school and says, what can I do to get my grade up? This is what you can do to get your grade up. So make sure you take care of what you need to take care of right now. All right, I'll see you all in class on Monday and Tuesday. Have a good one.